Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and really get to the heart of what's shaping things.
Exactly.
And today, we're diving into something pretty interesting. It's where fitness trends meet home tech. We're talking about the booming global indoor cycling bike market.
Yeah, it's moved way beyond just a simple exercise bike, hasn't it? It's a whole connected experience now.
Totally. So for this deep dive, our info comes straight from the Global Indoor Cycling Bike Market Forecasts report. That's via Cognitive Market Research.
Right, a solid source. Gives us a really detailed look at sales, growth projections, all that good stuff.
Our mission today, well, it's pretty simple. We want to pull out the key insights, maybe find some surprising facts in the data, and help you understand the bigger picture here, this whole fitness phenomenon.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start big picture. Global overview. Back in 2021, this market, it pulled in over $1.26 billion in sales revenue.
Which is already a hefty sum.
It is. But here's where it gets, well, really interesting. The projection is for that to grow to over $1.68 billion by 2025.
Okay.
And then, get this, it leaps to a pretty staggering $3 billion by 2033.
Wow, so more than doubling in about, 12 years?
Exactly. More than doubling.
Oh, that's serious growth.
Yeah, and that translates to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 7.5% for the entire global market.
And seeing a 7.5% CAGR projected over more than a decade, that's significant.
Right. What does that really tell us?
Well, it signals a fundamental shift, I think. It's not just some, fleeting pandemic trend. Indoor cycling has really cemented its place.
So it's here to stay.
Definitely seems like it. People are clearly investing long-term in that convenience, the tech, the personalized workouts right in their living rooms. It's becoming a cornerstone of home fitness.
Makes sense. A big part of the fitness industry's future, then.
I'd say so.
Okay, that's the global picture. Pretty compelling growth. But is it the same story everywhere? Let's zoom in a bit.
Good idea. Regional differences can be really revealing.
Let's start with North America. In 2021, it was close to $500 million.
Right. $490.67 million, I believe.
Yep. And it's forecasted to more than double, over $1 billion by 2033. That's growing at a solid 6.69% CAGR overall for the region.
Still very healthy growth.
For sure. And the U.S., well, no surprise there, it leads the way. Roughly doubling its market size too, about 6.36% CAGR.
Expected.
Canada also looks strong, projected to more than double by 2033, with a slightly higher CAGR, actually, 7.20%.
Interesting. Okay.
But here's what kind of jumped out at me in North America. Mexico.
Ah.
Their growth rate is actually the highest in the region. It's a smaller market, sure, but it's set to nearly triple in size. An incredible 8.57% CAGR.
That is fascinating. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's driving that specific surge in Mexico compared to the U.S. or Canada?
What do you think it could be?
Well, it could be a mix of things, maybe faster growth in disposable income, a rapidly expanding middle class embracing this tech, or perhaps, at-home fitness tech resonates differently there. Maybe studio options are less common or accessible.
Yeah, could be. It's definitely an interesting outlier, challenges assumptions.
It really does.
Okay, so from North America, let's hop across the pond to Europe. What's the picture there?
Europe's also showing strong growth. The market there was about $340 million in 2021.
Right.
And it's projected to hit over $776 million by 2033. So, again, more than doubling. The overall CAGR for Europe is 7.09%.
Very solid.
Yeah.
And how does it break down within Europe?
Well, you've got the established economies like the UK, Germany, France. They're all showing steady growth, around 6% to 6.5% annually.
Okay, consistent.
Italy is a bit higher, closer to 6.6%. Russia's also doing well, over 7%. But like Mexico and North America, there's a standout in Europe too.
Let me guess. Spain.
You got it. Spain is projected to nearly triple its market size. It boasts Europe's highest EAGR at 8.75%.
Wow, 8.75%. That's really moving.
It is. And what's also interesting is looking at some other countries. Denmark, for instance, shows a very impressive 9.21% CAGR.
Higher than Spain, even.
Yep. And Switzerland is strong, too, 8.48%. And then there's the rest of Europe category, likely smaller, maybe faster developing markets.
Yeah.
That category is surging with an even higher CAGR, 9.05%.
Okay, so Spain, Denmark, rest of Europe. Those KGRs are really high. What's going on there?
Well, it suggests these areas might be hitting a kind of sweet spot Good market maturity, maybe high consumer awareness, enough disposable income.
Right.
I mean, when you see growth like 9% or nearly that year after year for a decade, that's rapid adoption. Could be effective marketing or just a real cultural shift towards home fitness in those specific places.
Yeah, it shows how localized the drivers can be. Different stories within the continent.
Exactly. It's not one size fits all.
Okay, speaking of impressive growth, let's pivot to Asia Pacific.
Ah, yes. The region with the highest overall KGR globally.
That's right. A stunning 9.04% overall. It went from about $280 million in 2021 to a projected, nearly $800 million by 2033.
Just incredible momentum there. China's leading, right?
China's leading the region, yes. Set to triple its market size, 9.54% CAGR. Japan's growing steadily, too, over 7.6%.
Okay.
But get ready for this. India.
I had a feeling India would be a big story here.
It's absolutely explosive, projected to more than triple. Goes from just under $35 million in 2021 to over $112 million by 2033.
Wow.
And the CAGR, a leading 10.24%.
10.24%.
That's the highest CAGR for any specific named country in this whole report, globally.
That is phenomenal. Does that kind of acceleration remind you of other tech adoption waves we've seen?
Absolutely. Feels like that perfect storm scenario.
Right. You've got a huge young population, increasing urbanization, rising incomes.
And probably a big cultural shift towards fitness, plus these bikes becoming more affordable, more accessible.
Exactly. It mirrors that rapid digital leap we've seen in other emerging markets.
And it's not just India, right? South Korea, Australia.
Also very strong. South Korea around 8.4%, Australia 8.3%. And Southeast Asia as a whole is moving fast too, over 9% CAGR.
So Asia Pacific is really a powerhouse for growth in this market.
No question about it.
Okay, let's shift continents again. South America, what's the story there?
South America is also showing solid growth. The market was around $67 million in 2021. Projected to reach over $168 million by 2033. That's a regional CAGR of 7.99%.
Pretty strong. And within the continent.
Brazil leads the charge there, a strong 8.65% CAGR. Its market size is set to grow significantly.
Okay, Brazil's the leader.
Yep. Argentina, Colombia, Chile, they also have robust CAGRs, mostly between 7% and just over 8%. Peru is a bit lower, around 7%.
And any surprises there?
Maybe just that the rest of South America category actually had the lowest CAGR on the continent, interestingly enough, about 5.75%.
Okay, good to know. Right, next up, the Middle East.
Another region with rapid growth. Went from about $54 million in 2021 to a projected $135 million plus by 2033.
And the CAGR.
8.11%. So again, very healthy expansion.
How about key countries? Saudi Arabia, Turkey?
Both strong, over 8.3% CAGR for both Saudi Arabia and Turkey. The UAE is expanding consistently too, around 7.5%.
But is there a standout like we saw elsewhere?
There is, mirroring India and Spain.
Qatar, what's their number?
A remarkable 9.4% CAGR. Really strong performance there.
Wow, okay. Qatar joins the high flyer list.
Definitely. Egypt is also growing well, over 7.5% CAGR.
Okay, that leaves us with one more region to cover, Africa.
Right. Africa is currently the smallest market, started at roughly $33 million in 2021.
And projected to reach?
About $75 million by 2033. It also has the lowest overall regional CAGR, coming in at 6.57%.
So the slowest growing region overall?
Yes. And within Africa, South Africa specifically grew at a more modest 5.93% CAGR.
Which means?
It actually holds the distinction of having the lowest CAGR for any named country in the entire report.
Interesting. Lowest named country growth in South Africa. What about Nigeria or the rest?
Nigeria is doing a bit better, projected to reach nearly $24 million by 2033. That's a 6.87% CAGR. The rest of Africa category is actually slightly higher, around 7.03%.
Okay, so if we tie all this regional data back together, what's the big picture takeaway from these variations?
Well, I think it really highlights the different stages of market development, doesn't it?
How so?
You see places like Africa, maybe South Africa specifically, where it's a newer market, perhaps different economic factors, different cultural approaches to fitness maybe, leading to slower growth off a smaller base.
Right.
Whereas the, explosive growth in India or the really strong performance we saw in parts of Europe, Latin America, the Middle East, that suggests markets that are really rapidly adopting these technologies.
Integrating them into daily life.
Exactly. So while the global trend is clearly up, the local drivers, the barriers, they're incredibly diverse. It's that mix of income, tech access, fitness culture.
Fascinating stuff. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Well, we've clearly seen a vibrant, expanding global market for these indoor cycling bikes.
Yeah, set to more than double in the next decade or so. That's a pretty powerful signal about consumer behavior shifting.
Precisely. And for me, the key takeaways are those really interesting regional differences and those surprising high growth stars.
Like India leading globally,
Mm,
Mexico and North America, Spain and Denmark in Europe, Qatar in the Middle East.
exactly. It's not just the usual suspects driving all the growth. And this info, it matters whether you're tracking fitness trends or trying to understand consumer shifts or even just global market dynamics.
Shows how adaptable the fitness industry is,
Yes,
especially with tech involved.
for sure.
So the core finding seems pretty clear then. This market's on a strong upward path. It shows people are really sticking with home fitness solutions.
How that plays out varies a lot, region by region, different speeds, different reasons.
Right. So maybe a final thought for you to consider. As you think about all these numbers, this growth,
Hmm.
what do you think is the single biggest factor driving this huge global demand for indoor cycling?
Ooh, good question.
And maybe how might this whole trend reshape our long-term relationship with fitness itself?
Definitely something to chew on. The convenience factor,
Hmm.
the tech integration, community aspect, even from home.
Lots to think about. Something to ponder as we keep exploring how lifestyles and tech keep changing these markets.
Indeed. Until next time.
Stay curious.
Have you ever paused to think about what's really driving the quiet fitness revolution happening right in our living rooms? We're talking about getting a serious sweat on without ever stepping outside. Welcome to the deep dive. Here, we basically plunge into a stack of articles, research, our notes, whatever we can find, and we pull out those essential nuggets of knowledge, really giving you a shortcut to being truly well informed. Today, our deep dive takes us right into the heart of the indoor cycling market. And our sources, they reveal not just the exciting trends and, well, some hidden challenges, but also how some pretty surprising global policy shifts are dramatically reshaping the seemingly focused industry. We've been sifting through fresh market research reports, stuff on consumer preferences, industry shifts, that kind of thing, alongside some crucial analyses of recent global trade policies. Pretty interesting stuff. And we have a fantastic expert with us today who's been just instrumental in helping us distill these complex findings and, draw out the essential connections for you.
Yeah, it's a fascinating area to explore, definitely. I'm excited to share what we've uncovered.
Great. So let's kick things off. What are the core forces fueling this massive transformation in the indoor cycling world? What are the big drivers we're seeing?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is how several sort of powerful forces are converging. First, and maybe the most obvious one, is the continued surge in home fitness culture. That really cemented itself after the COVID-19 pandemic.
All right, that makes sense.
But the insight here isn't just about convenience, so that's part of it. It's a deeper consumer shift towards taking ownership of personal well-being, right, in their own space. And indoor cycling bikes, they offer that perfect low-impact yet incredibly effective cardiovascular workout. It frees people up from gym memberships or, battling unpredictable weather outside.
And it feels like it's not just about the physical bike itself anymore, is it? It's the whole digital ecosystem that comes with it now.
Precisely. That's a huge part of it. The integration of smart features and, seamless app connectivity is a critical game changer. We're talking Bluetooth-enabled bikes that aren't just tracking your performance in real time, but they're also immersing you in virtual ride simulations through popular platforms like Peloton and Zwift.
Yeah, those are everywhere now.
Exactly. And this digital layer, with its social engagement features, leaderboards, competitive elements, it's really fueling demand from tech-savvy enthusiasts who want that interactive, almost gamified experience. The real insight here, I think, is how these platforms use data to create these engagement loops. It transforms exercise from maybe a chore into something really engaging. And underpinning all of this is a broader, evolving awareness of health and wellness generally. We're seeing a shift from, say, reactive health measures to a more proactive lifestyle integration. So indoor cycling isn't just a workout. It's becoming a key pillar in a holistic preventative approach to well-being across really diverse age groups, which is, a significant evolution from traditional gym habits.
That makes perfect sense. You've got convenience, cool tech, and this renewed focus on health, all driving demand. But I'm also thinking, nothing grows without its growing pains, right? What are some of those maybe unexpected roadblocks or hurdles this market is running into? Where does it get tricky?
Right. Despite these strong growth drivers, it's definitely not all smooth pedaling. We've identified some significant restraints. The initial purchase cost, for one, and ongoing maintenance for premium smart bikes, it can be quite high. That acts as a major barrier for price-sensitive consumers, particularly, say, in emerging economies.
Okay, the cost factor.
Then there's the simple practical reality of space. In compact urban apartments, maybe smaller homes, bulky, non-foldable equipment is a real hindrance. It just doesn't fit sometimes.
Right.
And finally, there's a challenge I think hits close to home for many of us,
Mm-hmm.
just plain sticking with it. You know?
Oh, yes, the motivation piece.
Exactly. That initial burst of motivation for indoor workouts can sometimes fizzle out,
Yeah.
leading to bikes gathering dust and becoming, dare I say, expensive clothes racks.
Huh. The clothes rack phenomenon, I think we've all been there with some piece of fitness equipment at some point.
Absolutely. And this then impacts future sales
Yeah.
and positive word-of-mouth referrals, obviously.
Okay, so beyond our own personal willpower and the space issue, how is the industry actually innovating its way around these headwinds? What are companies doing to overcome these hurdles? Cost, space, even keeping us motivated.
Well, that's where the emerging trends really come in, and they're truly reshaping the landscape. To combat that motivation challenge you mentioned, we're seeing the rise of these sophisticated, subscription-based fitness ecosystems. These go way beyond just a one-off bike purchase. They offer live and on-demand classes, engaging group challenges, even personalized coaching sometimes.
So it's more of service.
Right. It significantly enhances engagement and customer retention. It transforms the bikes from just simple equipment into these platforms for long-term fitness journeys. Second, directly responding to those space limitations you mentioned, there's an increasing prevalence of compact, foldable, or even clever wall-mounted designs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, these are specifically catering to the urban population's, desperate need for space-efficient solutions. And finally, there's growing traction in sustainable manufacturing practices. Consumers are increasingly favoring bikes made from recyclable materials, featuring energy-efficient mechanisms, using eco-friendly packaging, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This really highlights a powerful shift toward environmentally responsible fitness options. People care about that now.
That's really positive to see. So, okay, the industry was already navigating these exciting new trends and the existing challenges we talked about. Then this massive external force emerged that truly, as you said, rocked the boat. It wasn't about consumer preference or tech innovation this time, but a seismic shift in global trade policy. Let's talk about the 2025 Liberation Day tariffs. What's the context here? This sounds like a big deal.
It is a big deal. This is a critical piece of the puzzle for understanding the market right now. So these Liberation Day tariffs, they were introduced in 2025 under President Donald Trump's administration. It marked a significant policy shift for the U.S. And we're talking steep import duties, like 10% on goods from the UK and Australia, a hefty 46% on Vietnamese products, 34% on many Chinese imports, and 25% on steel, aluminum, and auto parts.
Wow, those are some big numbers.
They really are. The stated intent behind these tariffs was, to protect domestic manufacturing and reduce trade deficits. That was the official line. However, their impact is incredibly widespread. It affects various industries far beyond fitness equipment. We're talking everything from apparel and appliances to packaged food and personal care items. It's broad. The immediate consequences have been, well, an escalation of trade tensions, particularly between the U.S. and China, with retaliatory tariffs flying back and forth. And this leads to significant price increases for consumers, major supply chain disruptions, and just general inflationary pressures across the board. The surprising insight here isn't just that tariffs raise prices. I think we all kind of expect that. But it's how they're forcing this fundamental reevaluation of global supply chains. It could potentially lead to a more diversified, maybe more resilient, but definitely initially more expensive fitness equipment landscape that we've ever seen before.
Right, so it's changing the whole map, essentially. So what does this all mean for indoor cycling brands specifically? Those companies trying to keep up with demand and innovation in this new, pretty unpredictable tariff landscape. How are they coping?
Yeah, for indoor cycling brands, these tariffs are fundamentally reshaping their sourcing and their pricing strategies. There's no way around it. They're facing increased input costs, the parts cost more, and significant delays. This is largely due to their historical reliance on Asian suppliers, especially in China, where a lot of this manufacturing happens.
Makes sense.
So this has spurred companies to proactively explore alternative sourcing locations. We're seeing shifts towards places like Vietnam, India, and Mexico. They're also adopting some pretty advanced strategies. like leveraging AI artificial intelligence to predict exactly what consumers want, when they want it, and even where they're located.
Using AI for forecasting.
Exactly. And this isn't just about efficiency, though it helps. It's about minimizing the risk of holding expensive inventory during these volatile times. And it's about ensuring that those popular, compact, sustainable bikes are available precisely when a tariff-conscious buyer is actually looking for one. They're also streamlining their product portfolios, maybe focusing on fewer, more popular models and forming strategic partnerships to enhance their overall resilience, sort of spreading the risk. What's absolutely crucial during this period is robust market research. It's proving invaluable. It helps companies evaluate supplier risks, assess how sensitive consumers like you are to these higher prices. It helps optimize product materials and design, maybe find cheaper alternatives, and even plan for future policy changes through scenario modeling. Like, what if this happens?
So they're trying to anticipate the next curveball.
Precisely. Ultimately, companies that are truly leveraging these data-driven insights and building agile supply chain strategies, they're the ones best positioned. They can navigate this evolving global trade landscape while simultaneously meeting that rising demand we talked about for smart, sustainable, and space-saving indoor cycling solutions.
Okay, that's a lot to juggle.
It really is. So if we kind of zoom out and connect all these dots, what we've really seen today is just how dynamic the indoor cycling market truly is. It's fascinating. It's driven by our sort of deeply human desire for convenience and wellness.
Yeah.
And it's fueled by cutting-edge technology that keeps us engaged, keeps us pedaling. We also explored the real-world hurdles, right? From the cost of entry, the price tag, to the challenge of finding space in our homes, and even that universal struggle just to stay motivated long-term.
Yeah.
But what's truly fascinating, I think, is how these broader economic shifts, like the U.S. Liberation Day tariffs, implemented back in 2025.
Yeah.
How they ripple down from government policy to directly impact what kind of bike you can buy, where it's made, and ultimately what you pay for it. That price tag.
Right. It really brings it home. So this raises an important question then for you, the listener, to think about. As companies pivot to these new strategies, adopting AI for forecasting, seeking out alternative suppliers in different countries, focusing more on sustainability, how long might it actually take for these changes to translate into maybe more stable prices or even more innovative, space-saving, and eco-friendly options for consumers like us? And how will those efforts really balance out against the continued inflationary pressures and these ongoing global trade tensions that don't seem to be going away quickly? Something to ponder, perhaps, as you look for your next ride, or maybe even hop on the one you already have.